I was a guy that traded in his PS1 for an N64 because I wanted to play Mario 64 so badly, and it's not a choice I regret as that game became my favourite Mario game ever. But of course it meant I was missing out on some great PS1 titles, notably the great Metal Gear. So when news of a new Konami game exclusive for the N64 started to appear in magazines, my hype meter began to build up. Especially as magazines at the time were selling this as the N64's answer to Metal Gear Solid and Resident Evil. How could you not get hype with that news? And then the game came out and what I got was a sci-fi wrestling game. What the hell? To say this was not what I was expecting would be an understatement, but hold on a second here. I'm a wrestling fan, especially during the mid to late 90s, wrestling was fire back then, and who isn't a general fan of sci-fi? So this game already had the right ingredients for me to enjoy it, and when I actually sat down to play I found myself going on a fun-filled adventure. Hybrid Heaven is an action sci-fi RPG game which story is pretty much invasion of the body snatchers with classic silver age sci-fi tropes thrown in too. It starts off with what must be the most awkward subway meeting in a long time. You start off by killing the main hero of the game, Johnny Slater, only that wasn't the real Johnny. It turns out you just killed a clone of yourself, or what they're called in here, hybrids. In true John Woo face-off style, it turns out that Johnny has been wearing a hybrid's body in disguise by the name of Diaz, who you will later come to meet, and he will be very pissed at you for wearing his face. It's strange because you play in his body for a while, so it really does feel like some face-off shenanigans when you have to face him later on. The hybrids and their master plan to take over the world by slowly removing key government people in power and replacing them with clones, and their next target is the President of the United States. This is where you will come across these peaceful loving aliens that have become slaves to the hybrids and the master. They will drop a book of knowledge on you about the situation and even deeper meanings of life, which is why I was legit upset when they get taken out and then captured. It's all up to you as Johnny Slater to save them and America and the world. The story definitely gets more engrossing as you go along, and the characters and bosses you come up against are as every bit as charismatic as the ones found in Metal Gear. They have layers to them that I never expected them to have, where they even question what they are doing themselves and what does it all mean. So the gameplay essentially has two parts to it. The overworld free roaming part where you spend wandering around this giant underground complex. This place is huge, I mean massive. There's a real sense of loneliness and isolation as you run around and explore this complex. It is guarded by automated defense weapons like laser probes, moving mines and turrets to name a few. These will become more annoying later in the game. To help you combat this, you have your trusted diffuser gun, or what I like to call it the pew pew gun, as that's the sound it makes. It doesn't actually shoot projectiles out for you to see, you just generally point it in the direction of whatever you want to take out and it does the rest. This makes it awkward to gauge if you're actually hitting something, and the angles you shoot at can be annoying too. In this mode you'll be spending lots of time finding keycard machines to get you through locked doors. So in that regard I guess the link back to Resident Evil was true, and the first mission area sure does give off a Resident Evil vibe, which is where I should mention the music. The music nails the feeling you get from wandering around in this place. It feels ambient at times, and then when the battles occur it ramps up. Talking about battles, that is the other part of the game, and it's the main draw, the RPG battle system. Apart from a few items, the game is all hand-to-hand combat. You can learn various punches, kicks and wrestling moves. Given the huge amount of moves for you to learn and the length of the game, it will be impossible for you to become a master in every move in one playthrough. So you will have to pick what type of fighter you want to be. Do you want to be a boxer or kickboxer, or maybe an all and out wrestler? For myself, I picked to learn a blend of kicks and wrestling moves, as those moves give the most damage output. Each of your body parts will increase in stats each time you use them. Along with doing the same moves, they will in turn become more powerful in time and the chances of them landing become higher. When the hybrids engage you in combat, you'll be given various options to avoid their attack. Choosing guard, step and take the fall are usually your best options. Picking anything else will usually result in you taking heavy damage. I think counter worked once in my whole playthrough, so it's not really worth the risk. Since you can still freely move about in battle mode, you can position yourself to make things far easier. In time you will face many different hybrids that have different tactics and moves that you will learn the weakness of, so you can take advantage of it. Once you get to a certain level, you will unlock combos. This will be a devastating tool in your arsenal. If you pick the right set of moves, your combo will end with an extra hit finishing move for good measure. It's great to use against tougher hybrids. When it came to various items, I mostly saved those for boss encounters. As you would expect, those guys will be an extra challenge. Hybrid Heaven is one of those N64 games that take advantage of the expansion pack, but being a PC gamer, I can say running this on anything but low will see a major dip in frame rates. I will always lower graphics on any game if it means more frames. The camera angles in this game can be another problem, and I sure did die a few times because of it, but it's something you can learn to cope with. So Hybrid Heaven didn't turn out to be the game I had in my head, and it's not as polished in gameplay as Metal Gear Solid on the PS1, but it's still a fun RPG game and the battle system totally draws me in. It's a game I've revisited a number of times over the years, so it's well worth playing if you're into sci-fi and RPGs, and in my opinion it's one of the N64's better titles out there. As always, thanks for watching and catch you next time.